welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please look around, subscribe to my channel. Just a little fun little channel. Today I'm coming to you with a birth story. I've been watching a lot of people. I do different videos. I'm really a YouTube person. That's my TV. I do have cable, but YouTube is my TV now. It's a part of my lineup. And I follow a lot of like moms and stuff like that. And around their kids' birthday, they do their birth story. Or they, introduce you to the video they've already done. So, Sunday, June the 9th, will be Michaela's 14th birthday. And yes, I have a 14-year-old. Lord have mercy. It's like really hitting me. So I thought I'd come to you today and give y'all my birth story. I was a young girl. I became pregnant at the age of 19. Turned 20 after I had her. And didn't know anything about life. And the way I found out I was pregnant, because of course I really had just got out of high school. I just turned 19, and I was going to culinary school. So I had just started my first year in college. Matter of fact, I wasn't even in school for like a whole month or so before I found out. I went to my doctor because I actually was going to the doctor to get a refill on a prescription of birth control. And so I went to the doctor, and the doctor did a usual exam, and she was like, something is not right. They gave me a urine test. It said no. So they sent me to do blood work. At the time, I was still going to Children's Hospital. So I went to the hospital side, got my blood work done, and she said, I'll call you back in a week. I came back in a week, and she said, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you're pregnant. The bad news is we don't see pregnant patients, so you got to find someone. So I was so scared because I was so young. I just sat on it for maybe about 2 or 3 months. That was in the beginning of September. I didn't actually start going to the doctor, which is this not something that I tell you to do. But I didn't start going to the doctor maybe about October, November. And when I started going to the doctor, we were going for a checkup, and they were like, oh, your baby is big. And so they scheduled me to come right back to get like the sonogram where you find out what you're having. I thought I was having a boy. But lo and behold, it was a girl. And so fast forward, she was actually due in the end of June. Like middle of June. Fast forward, it was like right before when right when you get to a certain point, your doctor said you can go at any time. So I was like, oh, I'm tired of being pregnant. So I tried everything. I walked. I ate spicy food. I jogged. I'm like, I'm finna have a baby. And so I one day was having contractions very often. So I went to the doctor. They monitored me. They started to slow up. So they were like, well, you only like 1 centimeter dilated. We're going to send you home. I had a doctor's appointment the next day. So I was like, okay. They're like, we're going to send you home. And, just come to your doctor's appointment the next day. I was disappointed, but I left. I went to my doctor's appointment the next day. And so when I went to my doctor's appointment, I had dilated a little bit more because all that night I walked all night. And I dilated a little bit more. And this was June the 8th. I had walked all night, and they were like, well, it look like you're having contraction now. So the lady was like, we're going to send you over to labor and delivery just to check you out for an hour. And if nothing progress, we're going to send you home. So I knew in my mind, I'm going home. I'm probably gonna have to be going into my due date or whatever. And so, because I knew that I wasn't having contractions like that, so I went over to the doctor's, to the labor and delivery, and they monitored me. And the lady was like, well, you're slowing down, so, go put your clothes back on. Because I was in a room. And she was like, you can go put your clothes back on now, because we're probably going to see you home in a little while. But mind you, every 15 minutes, they were coming in checking my blood pressure. One thing you need to know, that if your blood pressure is high, doctors and nurses, since you are carrying precious cargo, which is a baby, will not let you know that. They're gonna act like everything is perfect. They're gonna act very calm. Oh yeah, just doing routine checks, which they don't check your blood pressure. They'll check it once an hour or something like that. But when it's bad, they're gonna check it every 10 to 15 minutes. Like, they really gonna check it. I had my clothes on, ready to go home. And so they came back in and was like, well, your blood pressure is very high. We don't want you to, get excited or anything. There's nothing wrong. We're going to keep you and we're going to induce you in the morning. My blood pressure was high enough to where it was almost to the point of preeclampsia. So they kept me overnight. And they induced me. I had already had my bags, because I was like, shoot, if they want to take this baby, they can have this baby. At that point, I was like, if you want this baby, you can have this baby. So I had already brought my baby bag and all this stuff. I was ready. I was ready to have a baby. So, And so I was prepared. And I'm like, okay. So I called all my family and stuff. Her dad was already with me. I was like, hey, y'all, they're going to take my baby tomorrow. So that day, that night or whatever, people came by and stuff like that, but people left. They induced me maybe about 9 o'clock. And so I really, to be honest, I have really fast labors. I actually got a folder in here because I registered Michaela for school. I just wanted to look and see what time that I have her. I had her they induced me at 9. I had her at 2:34. I basically did not feel any contractions. It felt like my stomach was tight, but it didn't hurt. And so when I got to enough centimeters where they said, hey, you want an epidural? You're enough centimeters dilated. I was like, sure. I really didn't feel any like real deal pains. I just did not want to hurt. I don't like pain, so I did not want to hurt. So I was like, I'm finna get this epidural. So happens that the lady next door to me ordered her epidural. She was in the bathroom. So since she was in the bathroom, the anesthesiologist came right on over and gave me my epidural. So I actually never really felt any pain for real, because I got my epidural so fast. And so 2:34, Michaela was born, and it was just so shocking. I went from being a person with just thinking about me to thinking about someone else. Michaela is such a sweet child. She has her moods. She is a teenager. She has her moods and her mood swings and all that stuff. But to be honest, I think that God blessed me with such a sweet child, because she helps me out. She is the best big sister, even though her and CJ fight like cats and dogs. But she is a sister of, if she got something, he got something. If I'm offering one person, hey, do you want a piece of cake or something like that, she's going to ask, can CJ have some? Or she going to split hers with him. She is a really good child. I mean, all children do little things or whatever, but I couldn't ask for a more perfect daughter. She is very clingy to me, and I just didn't grow up with, that type of thing. But I feel like, the affection and the love that she gives me is teaching me to be a better person, a person that's not, you know, as cold, I guess you can say. I'm having a really hard time that my child is turning 14 and going to high school. I didn't think that high school was going to hit me this hard, but I'm just like really at the point of almost, like, every time I think about it, I'm like in tears. But I'm just really blessed to have really good kids. I don't feel like I'm going to have a problem out of her. You know, when it comes to like boys and stuff, she's not boy crazy. She's still kind of the mind of her age, so, which is really good. But this is my birth story. I've been a mom for 14 years now, and I wouldn't give it up for nothing in this world. I love that little girl to death, no matter how old she is. But I just wanted to come on here and give y'all my story. When it's January, around January, because CJ's birthday is January the 2nd, I'll come back and give y'all a birth story for that one. Now, that one was not a pain-free birth. This one was. So, if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.